Hey everybody, how you doing tonight? This is Patrick Moore. I want to thank you guys for coming on our Wednesday Visionary webinar. It's 12 p.m. Pacific over here in Washington State near Seattle. And just got back from a Visionary conference out in Las Vegas. It was for the Chinese group. They had qualified for it just like some of you who've been around, you guys are familiar with our annual conferences that we've done in Spain for 2 years in a row, which is a vacation, really. Of course, there's meetings and stuff like that, but really it's a reward for you working in Visionary, and they fly you out to Spain. They fly and take care of your airfare, the hotel. We stayed at an incredible resort. In fact, here's a picture of the resort we stayed at this year. And we stayed at a different place last year, but this is one of the most, in fact, the most amazing resort I've ever stayed at. So we just got back from a Las Vegas conference, and this, like I said, was for the Chinese group. They qualified for this. They earned so much volume, and they were out there for about a week. And so on Saturday, we had our convention. In fact, here's a couple pictures. Here's a picture of Andy Morgenstern, our president of Visionary here, with his future wife, Nicole Peterson, who you guys also know is very actively involved behind the scenes and responsible for a lot of the marketing and communications and stuff like that. So both very actively involved. And then there's also a picture here of Nicole and Gary Connor. So Gary Connor, our cryptocurrency expert, flew out to Vegas and spoke with Andy. Let's see, there's a picture of them here somewhere. Here they are up in front of the audience, the Chinese group speaking, and David Somerville was able to make it out to Vegas, so it was great meeting you, and really that was it. The rest of them was everybody who traveled overseas. And I flew out there, Andy flew out there, and Gary flew out there. And then we have Adrian here, which I think there's just saw a picture over here, who is put this whole event together. So awesome. I met her out in Spain the first time. So it was a great trip, and we're going to continue to do trips like this. You're going to have a chance to come out and meet some of the leaders, and we'll let you know here when the next trip is. But very exciting times here at Visionary, as there is a lot of stuff discussed here this weekend about really the overall theme of this weekend was to discuss where we've been, where we put our money, and most of our money, as you know, has gone into development. Clear over $1 million has now been put into the development of the mobile app, which has had multiple feature upgrades, enhancements. We're now at like version 5, version 6, and we're going to go out to version 9. We'll have multiple features released up to version 9 as far as what's pre-planned, and then of course we'll continue to evolve from there. So for those of you who are not familiar with our technology, we are in a disruptive space. Now, before we get into that, let's jump back into the presentation and kind of give you an overview of what we're talking about here for those of you that are really not familiar with what we're doing. For those of you that are familiar, you are on our team. I wanted to kind of show you what happened this weekend, and for those of you that weren't there, we missed you, and we hopefully will see you here at the next event. So quick introduction about myself. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Patrick Moore. Been with Visionary pretty much since day one. And here's a picture of me right here standing next to a couple of great gentlemen. We've got Caleb and Gary. For those of you who are actively involved, you guys have seen them in the Facebook groups, the Skype groups. They're very helpful, and they're both leaders in this business as they qualified for this free trip to Spain. And then so there's a couple different pictures here. We don't necessarily need to go in. These are all great guys. Here's a picture of me sitting next to the president of the company. Here's another owner of Jesper Benson. So Um, Incredible trip. I encourage you guys to really work hard this next year and qualify for this trip to Spain because it is one of the most amazing trips you'll ever take in your life. So let's get on to why we're here. Why have I really dropped everything I've done over the last 2 years now to focus on this specific space? I've been in the home business space for almost 20 years. I've been building websites for over 20 years, since I was 13 years old. And I've never seen an industry or a technology that is so disruptive, that can be so beneficial, so profitable, and offer so many different benefits. And we're going to talk about the different reasons why you, as the average person, should be paying attention to this space. Whether or not you know about it, whether or not you understand it or think that you have the capability of understanding it, because everybody starts out from the beginning. Everybody looks at this and is like, oh, this is pretty overwhelming. I don't want to learn about this new stuff. But learning about new things before the masses do, especially disruptive technologies like this, offer great opportunity, great potential to create a very lucrative income stream. Not just residual income, but generational wealth. And there's not many products out there I can back up that can say that you can get into this opportunity or this industry and create generational wealth. And if it is an industry like that, it's usually at the very inception. So we've got two things going for us. We have a massive industry, a multi-trillion-dollar industry, not a multi-million or billion, not hundreds of billions, but trillions, tens of trillions of dollars. This is the industry that we're trying to penetrate. So let me get a drink of water here real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in full screen here. Oops. So as I said, we're talking about disruptive technology here, and we notice disruptive technologies emerging all the time, whether it is, well, most of the time, 99% of the time from what I've seen, it's in current industries that dominate the world: the transportation industry, the hospitality industry, the communication industry, the media and advertising industry. If you find a way to be more efficient, more productive, more profitable, and you can do things with mobile phones and the internet, we look at one example is Uber. Well, the internet. There's lots of examples, but the example that most people know about is Uber. I want to keep this short because there's a couple things I want to talk about here, and so I don't want to, I've done this presentation a few times, I've talked about this a lot. You can definitely go back and look at this if you want deep analysis on all these different industries, but Uber is the one that most people are very well aware of. And this mobile app, this website, disrupted the transportation industry. And this mobile app is actually, you can't really see it, I don't know why, let me move this over here. This is the fastest growing company in the history of the world, valued at $50 billion, and it overtook the transportation industry, a 300, almost 400-year-old industry, and in less than 10 years, with no ownership of vehicles, no employees, no major overhead, no major infrastructure, nothing more than a mobile app and some people to monitor it. And of course, as the company scales, you need to grow with it. But just with a mobile app, it became a $50 billion company that disrupted the transportation industry. Now, another example you guys might know is Airbnb. This is a hospitality industry I mentioned a second ago. a website came out and is disrupting hotel chains that have been around for 50 plus years, that have thousands and thousands of properties, tens of hundreds of thousands of employees, and almost a property in every major city in every country in the world. So this website was able to become a $25 billion giant. And again, it's the same thing. It doesn't have all the employees, all the major infrastructure. So understanding how to utilize disruptive technology is very important these days, because if you don't do it, somebody else is going to do it. Somebody else is paying attention to all these companies becoming global billion-dollar giants with simply websites and mobile apps. Sorry, I'm getting these messages here. There we go. So here's a couple examples of disruptive technology. So we already know Uber, we know Airbnb. You guys might be familiar with Alibaba. The most valuable retailer has no inventory. Sorry, guys. Airbnb, the world's largest accommodation provider, owns no real estate. Alibaba, the most valuable retailer, has no inventory. Facebook, the world's most popular media owner, creates no content. Uber, the world's largest taxi company, owns no vehicles. And the business that we are focusing on is what I believe is going to be the next big boom, the next major profitable industry that everybody who participates can, as I said earlier, not just create residual income, but I believe real generational wealth. So, Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin exactly? Well, it's cryptocurrency, but it's the same thing as the US dollars, the euro, the yen. It's just in digital form. So now, instead of having all these infrastructures and people and all these overheads to print this money, now we have disruptive technology with mobile devices that we all use every day. And we now have the ability to use cryptocurrency the same way that we're using US dollars or even our credit cards. Because right now, we're already in a digital world. 99 out of every $100 that we spend is digital. So, in fact, I just saw a video, and I know many of you guys have seen it now because a couple people have even come and talked to me about it. Amazon is going to be implementing here, I imagine pretty soon, the ability to walk into a store, walk up to an item, grab it, put it in your bag, and then walk out of the store and not have to deal with the checkout or the cash register or lines or any of that. And it's all that's obviously 100% digital. There's no exchange of money, because as you walk in, you walk through these little posts. It recognizes that as you walk in, your account is linked up. As you go and grab items and you put them in your bag, well, it's got some very sophisticated system to track that. And of course, if you take the item out of the bag and put it back on the shelf, then it deducts it from the balance. It is very sophisticated. This is showing you how fast we are headed into a 100% digital society. And there's multiple other examples where in India, they've eliminated, I think it was 100, not called dollar, not renminbi, I think is what their currency is. The 100 and the 500, whatever their currency is, which is, I don't know it's not as much in US dollars, but they're eliminating those higher cash amounts, and they're making you exchange into smaller bills. And there's a couple different reasons why, but It's just another step in the direction of going digital. So you guys all know Bill Gates. He says the future of money is digital currency, and he's been right on several occasions, including the very system that we're using right now. That if you were around in that time and you heard about the idea of this whole computer thing, and it was going to be something you use in your everyday lives, and you might have been resistant to that idea. Just like you might be resistant idea right now, thinking, oh no, cryptocurrency is just a fad, right? Well, that's what this guy thought. Bill Bonner said cryptocurrency is a fad, and it might even be a scam, and I'm not going to get into it really, but now he says digital currency is the first improvement in money in 5,000 years. He's a very well-respected, you might not know him, but he's a well-respected businessman, where a lot of the top CEOs go to him for his business and financial advice. And then we have Ben Bernanke, the guy that printed our money, the former chairman of the Federal Reserve, who was, a lot of people would say, was responsible for the 2008 financial crisis that we went into. And he said, cryptocurrencies may hold long-term promise, particularly if the innovation promotes a faster, more secure, and more efficient payment system. So people are waking up to this reality. And here's the difference. Why would you want cryptocurrency? Well, the biggest thing is that you own the money. It's not debt. It's possible to actually grow in value. It's outside of the manipulated, in my opinion, might not be your opinion, but I believe manipulated banking and financial systems. It's outside of the hands of the government. Now, it's still 100% legal, though. It's recognized by the governments of the world. It's equivalent and exchangeable for all other currencies. And we're going to be releasing technology here pretty soon that no other financial institution on the planet has at this time. And we are, as far as I see it, a couple years ahead of any other cryptocurrency company out there. And I'm going to show you why. So Bitcoin, it was the very first of its kind, started in 2009, and it is now accepted by actually close to 500,000 locations. And it started at a very low price. It started at a fraction of a penny, but at one point, it actually hit a high of $1,200, almost $1,300. And then it actually dropped back down to $200 within hours. And since then, it's taken almost 7 years for it to now get back up to the $750 point. So, but here's the thing. It sat at 200 for 6.5 of those years. And over the last 6 months, have we only seen it increase from $200 to $750, and it's actually higher than that now. I need to change this again. It's at $780 right now. In fact, let's go see where it's at here. $778 a coin. Okay, so going back to this example here, I don't know why it keeps throwing me back onto this specific slide. Let's jump ahead. So, if you were to put, I need to change that. If you were to put $100 in Bitcoin in 2009, and it's a 777, we just saw it, right? It's 778. That means you have $7.78 million right now in Bitcoin, and continuing to grow, and expected to grow as Russia. Can't type it all right now. Russia calls for celebration as Bitcoin becomes legal 1 day ago. What do you think that's going to do to the value of Bitcoin? as the demand grows even stronger. Guys, this is about to explode. Now, I'm not going to make claims. We're not making any claims. We're not saying this is a guarantee. This is not an investment. There's no performance, no projections. There's nothing that we're going to say is going to happen for sure. But we are definitely paying attention to what's happening around us. And we can look here and see if you would have bought $100 in 2009, you'd have $7.7 million today. We have seen in the last 6 months that Bitcoin has gained a 300% increase in value. And that's just in 6 months. It took 6 years for it to budge, right? It was at 200 to 250. It had a little spike to 400 and back down to 200 immediately. And so what does that tell us? That tells us there's volatility. There's nothing really stabilizing the value of the coin other than people buying low and selling high. So we look at Bitcoin and we're like, wow, I wish I would have gotten at Bitcoin, right? Nobody's going to complain about Bitcoin if they could have spent $100 in 2009 and it's worth $7.78 million today. No matter how many problems it has, as long as you can cash out, you don't care what its strengths or weaknesses are, right? Well, here's the thing. As this network grows, as the demand gets stronger, it's going to take longer and longer and longer to be able to cash out or move the coin around or verify a transaction. So what is this whole thing based on? I think it's important you guys understand it, because why was this created? We look at what happened in 2008 and 2009 and the economic hiccups that the USA experienced. Now, I know that this webinar is the European webinar. I apologize, I'm not specifically talking about your country. I really only know my country and the timelines that well, so I feel more comfortable talking about that. And it's all relatable, though, at the end of the day, because all the monetary policies appear to be the same. So what happens in this country can easily happen in that country and can easily happen in that country, because we're all practicing the same monetary policies. It's just a matter of what's going to break first. So we look at 2008, 2009, and we saw, obviously, that people lost 30% of their 401ks, and people lost massive amounts of money overnight. And somebody by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto, who to this day is still anonymous, said, I was really, I think, fed up with the entire manipulation of the banking system and created a foundation that would run an economy that was uncorruptible. That when people moved money around, that the system knew it, everybody knew it, it was verifiable, there was no way to manipulate or edit or change or alter or steal, because all transactions were verifiable. So this is what gave birth and really what people became passionate about is the blockchain that runs the Bitcoin economy is just as significant as the cryptocurrency itself. And the blockchain is not just designed to run an economy, but it's designed for legitimate, verifiable account and record keeping permanently with no manipulation. So it's going to be used in a lot of ways in our lives. And if you're innovative enough to think of a way to utilize the blockchain, you will get rich if you know how to market it. So we're at the infant stages, guys. There's not much out there. I've been thinking of myself of different ways to create a business leveraging the blockchain, some kind of record keeping, data, something, right? There's lots of different ways. There's taxi companies are now using it, music companies are now using it. There's going to be a lot of industries adopting this. So now you understand the blockchain. Now you understand Bitcoin. Let's talk about Capripay. Sorry, get some water. So, why are we here? We're here to talk about Capripay. What I believe is the better cryptocurrency. Yeah, I love Bitcoin, but as I said, it has some challenges. There's no marketing team. There's no management team. Nobody owns Bitcoin. The creator of the coin is anonymous to this day. So it's based on you and me to be crazy enough and be geeky enough to want to go out and put our own time and money, really thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars, most of the time tens of thousands of dollars, in order to set up operations to be able to accumulate Bitcoin. It's very challenging. So the first thing that we did at Capripay is we figured out a way to distribute Capripay in an affordable, Hey everybody, how you doing tonight? This is Patrick Moore. I want to thank you guys. Show you our blockchain. I can show you the transactions that have occurred. The stuff I show you here, if you can't get that verified, you need to stay away because you're playing with fire. Because most of these coins, they are, it's secure. Somebody by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto, that is going to drop that friction and that resistance that is keeping people from getting into Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies right now. So, one is we've made it easier to obtain. Second is we've found a way to eliminate that volatility. As I said before, Bitcoin is purchased on a buy low, sell high, pump and dump type game. Yes, people want to drive the value of the coin up. We all want to help people make money, but it is very easy to manipulate with big money. So as we've seen it happen several times, because as soon as the price goes up, there's a huge sell-off because people want to take their profits. It drives the value of the coin back down, they buy in again, and so forth, and on and on and on, and we got the roller coaster effect. Yes, we have that with Capripay right now, but through the utilization of this mobile app, we'll have real application with our coin that allows us to use it as real money. So now instead of, here's the disruptive part of this. There's no longer cash, there's no longer credit cards, processing fees, merchant fees, transaction fees, because we've found a way to eliminate all those costs that everybody absorbs as they move money between people and businesses. Like 1 or 2% of the global economy is bank fees, guys. So we literally have a way now to disrupt the banking system, which, by the way, is 1,000 times larger than the Uber market, the transportation market, which is the fastest growing company in the history of the world. And here our business is 1,000 times larger than the banking industry, but 100,000 times larger than Uber, because we're in not just the banking industry, we are in the movement of money, the $80 trillion per day giant. So guys, this is the industry to be in, this is the business to be in, because we're creating a second generation cryptocurrency. Bitcoin's a $778 coin today, has no management, no marketing team, no application. Yes, it is used as money, but there are challenges, there are fees, and there are delays. And as Russia and other countries adopt cryptocurrency and the demand gets stronger, the delays go up there. You know, it gets harder and more challenging and more expensive to acquire these coins. So what we've done is with our everything that when Bitcoin, the delays, we found a way to eliminate the delays. The fees, we found a way to eliminate the fees. All the challenges that Bitcoin has, we have now found a way to eliminate that and give you guys a way to move money instantly without fees. And we're the first cryptocurrency ever that will be able to exchange your money into your own fiat currency without fees instantly. This is a major breakthrough in this space. As I said earlier, what I'm going to be talking about, no other financial institution on the planet is doing. We are years ahead of everybody else in the cryptocurrency space right now, guys. There are companies out there that have claimed that they have the ability to do this, but go try to find those coins on the exchange. Go try to find and legitimize that they have an actual blockchain. Go try and liquidate and cash out those coins, because the reality is, if you can't do 1, 2, or 3 of those things, you should not be near that cryptocurrency. Because from what I've seen, there's a lot of fraud going on out there, guys. Pay attention. This is new. And based on you not knowing this, people are going to prey on you because they can tell you this same story, but not really back it up and verify it like I'm able to. I can show you that we're trading on the exchange. I can show you our blockchain. I can show you the transactions that have occurred. The stuff I show you here, if you can't get that verified, you need to stay away because you're playing with fire. Because most of these coins, they are, it's securities fraud in from what I'm seeing. You really got to be careful with what you're doing here. So why is this so important? And it's really become my mission to educate people to not just jump into any coin because it looks good. And you're not going to know what a coin is because you don't even know what cryptocurrency is. You got to go through the education. And that's one of the great benefits when you join us here is we have cryptocurrency training. We've got support groups. We've got there's so much information that once you've gone through this, you will literally become an expert on cryptocurrency. Now, can you learn more? And are you going to continue to learn more? Absolutely. This industry is evolving, but we will get you caught up to speed where you will be able to easily know what's a real cryptocurrency and what's not a real cryptocurrency at the very least. So let's keep going here. As I said, we're focusing on a space that is never been penetrated in this way with this type of technology, with this type of disruptive technology. Now, as I said before, you need to verify that the coin is real. You can go to, blockchain.info is really a coin. This was designed specifically for Bitcoin, but this is just an example. If you really want to see the blockchain for Capripay, just go to chains, with a Z at the end, cryptoid.info, blockchain explorers. And you can see here Capricorn, and you can literally see a transaction happening 5 minutes, 4 minutes here's one happened 36 seconds ago, and you can go back and find the very first show last 100 blocks. So these blocks, this is the blockchain, this is the verification of the transactions. And the more people who adopt, this is a supply and demand game. And let's look at this right now, guys. Because I know a lot of you guys are pretty excited about the coin jump here today, but remember, this is volatile. If somebody wants to sell their coins or whatever, they have it. It's such a, we're so new into this right now. We've released, 25% of the coins. We are just now starting to get the mobile app used, businesses on board, and that's what's going to drive the value, is the adoption. So the coin jumped, it said like 30 or 50 something percent earlier. It was up to 20 something cents. And some people sold off, so it's back down to 17 cents, guys. But this just shows you, I know there's a lot of people, the coin was 10 cents, 11 cents, and it kept dropping, and they're like, what are we going to do to turn it around? All it took was more adoption, an increase in sales, an increase in Capricorn production, getting more people to put their money on the exchange. And we got to suck these coins up, guys. We got to suck these coins up, get as many coins distributed out to as many people as we can, and then using the Capripay app, start moving them between people, getting businesses on board, the cashback rewards offer. Now, as far as the merchants go here, they're going to start out here in the European zone. It's going to be focused. That's where we're based out of. That's where the first initial merchant set up and focus is going to be, because we need to get licenses for each country. There's a lot of money, legal stuff, logistical stuff that goes into opening up each country. And so this is, a webinar for the Europeans. And so luckily you guys are going to be able to benefit from this first. And then we'll open up other places, country by country, until we are global. It doesn't take much to drive the value up. And there are a couple companies right now that I've been talking to and working with other people who are talking to them. And there's some big deals happening behind the scenes right now where, a couple of companies could drive the value up significantly. Just a couple of big companies moving money around. So guys, we're close. We're very, very close. And if you go, let's go back here. I wanted to show you sorry, I'm losing my voice here. Wanted to show you guys how to verify a coin. So we're on exchanges. We're on multiple cryptocurrency exchanges. Lots of proof there. Let's go ahead and jump through this. So that picture I showed you earlier, Gary Connor, that was with Nicole Peterson, who was able to make it to Vegas this weekend. He's our cryptocurrency expert. He's the editor-in-chief of Altcoin Today, one of the most successful leading publications in alternative currencies. And he says that Capricoin is the perfect coin. He said this a year ago, and he said it this weekend. And he didn't change his mind, and he endorsed it even further. And he says we really are about to see major growth in not just this currency, but a lot of cryptocurrencies, because the world is waking up. And we have the best technology. We have the perfect coin. We have the fastest, easiest, least expensive way for people to move money around the world. And it's very exciting. So guys, I hope you guys now understand what the blockchain is, what Bitcoin is, the challenges it faces, why Capricoin has a very, very strong chance of becoming a top 3 coin. Right now, Bitcoin will most likely remain number 1 for the foreseeable future and will always be known as the first cryptocurrency, of course. It's not going anywhere. It's going to continue to grow in value. It's the one that most people, look at it. Russia just now is saying, yes, we'll allow our citizens to get into cryptocurrency. So that's going to open up a huge, huge floodgate of traffic. And one place you can go to verify, this isn't just some, hopefully this works. The other day it wasn't. Okay, there we go. It wasn't calculating. So what is happening right here is this is a real live chart of money moving out of the private sector and into cryptocurrency. And so every time you hear a ding, it means 20 Bitcoin was traded in 1 second. And the other day I was doing a webinar and I had to keep increasing this number. I got it up to I typed in 500. That means I only want to hear the ding every time that 500 Bitcoin is purchased in 1 second, and we heard it like 5 or 6 times. So, guys, this is right now. I think the time, usually it's better at nighttime, like around 5, 6 o'clock at night. This just gets crazy. When it's 20 that was just traded in a second. Hear that ding? There we go. Now it's really starting to jump up there. So check out that website, fiatleak.com. You can see here what's happening in real time. I definitely encourage you guys to start getting into cryptocurrency, because it is going to change a lot of people's lives. So there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about here. What's coming, and I also wanted to address a question that I got here before the webinar. So I'm going to address this question real quick, and then I'll talk about what's coming next. The question I got was related to moving money in and out of Capripay, moving it onto the exchange, moving it into a wallet, moving it back into whatever, moving it around basically. And initially, there was this plan that they were not going to easily allow money, once it went outside of Capripay, to go back into Capripay. But they changed their mind, and now there either is already a way to, not from your mobile wallet, but from the actual Capripay, logging into Capripay on your desktop, there should be a way to now move money back into, you should have a wallet address that you can now move money. So let's say you move money on the exchange, and you want to move it back into Capripay, you can now either do that, or that feature is going to be coming very soon, where that you don't need to wait for the approval. That was the thing, you had to wait for approval. And so many people were doing it that they just dropped that. So now there's no limitations or restrictions on moving money inside or outside of Capripay. It's just whether that feature has been implemented or not I'm not quite aware, but it should be soon. So the next thing I want to talk about is, one, as I told you earlier, we are going to be the first cryptocurrency to have a cashback reward system. This is going to allow businesses to incentivize their customers to come shop with them versus their competition. So there's lots of different benefits. Of course, what I believe is the best one is there's no expenses. There's no cost to do business. You've got the ability to advertise to your customers. There's instant verification of payment. There is zero chargeback and zero fraud. So guys, 15 to 20% of people's business, on a high end, of course, there's businesses that are able to protect their bottom line a little better, but a lot of businesses suffer from chargebacks. So they lose the item, they lose the profits, they lose out on the sale completely. And this mobile app will allow you to, there's no chargebacks at all. There's no fraud, there's nothing to worry about. When the transaction is done, the transaction is done. Going forward, as I said, it has the ability to convert currency in real time. Now, okay, you heard that ding, another 20 Capricorn, or Bitcoin was just purchased. So I was talking about the changes here, right? So what's coming here down the road very soon? A couple different things. The two really big things, actually, they're both equally as cool in my eyes. The first one, the mobile app itself. So since day one, we've said that we are going to allow people to move money with their cell phones, move Capricoin with their cell phones, exchange into any other currency, and so forth. Now what we're going to do is we're going to, in order to even make this go mainstream even faster, we're now going to give you the ability to not only move Capricoin, but also Bitcoin, Capricoin obviously, US dollars, euros, yen, and multiple other currencies. So it's like a true international wallet on your cell phone that has the ability to move any currency for free. Guys, this is mind-blowing. I can't believe we've made it this far, because a year and a half ago, this was all talk. I'm like, how are we going to be able to pull this off? And we're not quite there yet, but we have come miraculously far, and we are continuing to develop, and there's actually quite other few things here that's happening on the back end. So that's huge. Like that's going to help us penetrate the markets. Businesses are going to be more comfortable with accepting us. It's just going to, again, create less friction. And the more you can create, anytime you can create less friction and make it easier, more efficient for people, that's going to be more attractive. The second thing is we're going to have debit cards that have the Visa or MasterCard logo on them, I think it's MasterCard, and have it tied to the value of your Capricoin that you can go out and spend anywhere MasterCard is accepted, which is virtually everywhere. So that's the next step of getting business owners and people familiar with the idea of Capripay and Capricoin. And third, you guys are probably familiar with the exchange that we just launched, or that we're in the middle of launching right now. We had our alpha testing process over the last 2 weeks, had some kinks, worked them out, had another beta test, and the beta test went, from what I understand, perfect. And so now we're continuing to implement more features, but we're getting very close to releasing our own exchange that in the near future, all currencies, all trades that go through there are going to be tied to the value of Capricoin, not Bitcoin as they are now. And that's a whole other topic, and it would take a little bit of time to explain it, and we are running a little short, but just know that we're the first to do it, and it's going to have significant impact on the value of our coin. Not only that, but the pricing to trade on the exchange right off the bat is about half the price of all the other exchanges out there that I've seen. So we're attracting people with a decentralized exchange, one of the first to ever do that, which is a more secure exchange. We're attracting people with a lower price. And then also the third thing that's going to be very attractive is you don't have to wait any longer to get that money, because, like I said, if you go through Bitcoin and you do a transaction through Bitcoin, you have to wait. But if we pair our exchange to Capricoin instead of Bitcoin, then the transactions can be instant. So that's a win-win-win in my book. So we're so close, guys. This is really happening quite fast, much faster than I thought. I keep hearing these dings. So 720 Bitcoin was just purchased. I don't know, what has it been, 5 minutes or so? So this is happening, guys, and if you come on here in about 5 hours, you're going to probably see 10,000 Bitcoin would have been purchased in that last 5 minutes. It's happening very, very fast. So before we wrap up, first off, before we wrap up, do you guys have any questions? If you do, please, down below there should be a spot for questions. While I'm wrapping this up, just go ahead and type in any questions you have based on anything I've talked about here today, or anything I haven't talked about, and I'll go ahead and cover these last few slides, and then I'll come back to these questions here at the end. So go ahead and just type any questions you have in below, and I'll come back to that here in a second. All right, so what's our mission? To create a coin, the Capricoin, that allows individuals to participate in one of the most meaningful wealth transfers in the history of mankind. The shift from a centralized, fee-ridden banking system to a no fees, no restrictions, instant peer-to-peer financial platform that can all be completed on a smartphone. It's exciting, and it's happening now. There will never be a better time to be one of the early adopters of Capricorn, and the time is now. So how do you guys get started? What's the process to this, and what are you buying here, and how does this all work? So you guys might have heard, if you guys were invited here today, that you're going to be buying mining packages. We don't sell you the coins directly, we sell you mining time. And this is the exact same way that a Bitcoin is initially accumulated, through the process of mining. So we're not doing anything weird or different. This is the lingo of the industry. This is how you produce a Bitcoin, and this is how you produce a Capricorn. It has to be mined. So depending on what package you buy will determine how many slots you get, and each slot will produce so many coins, and the slot production occurs every Monday. So every Monday you get your coins if you paid for that week. And based on how many slots you've purchased for that week will determine how many coins you get that following Monday. And it varies, it changes every single week. And 500,000 coins are distributed every week. And based on how many people buy slots that week, it's all going to be divided up equally, and everybody that, bought a slot, whether you bought one slot or you bought 150 slots, you're going to get the same amount of coins per slot. So, of course, you want to get as many slots as you can. We don't charge monthly fees. We're not shipping anything to your house. You're not storing anything in your garage. The only thing you're storing here is wealth. Our product, or our byproduct, is money. This is why I love this company, because I'm not selling a product to you. I'm showing you how to diversify yourself into cryptocurrency and understand this industry and the massive, really the emergence of this in this underground. It's very niched, it's very fringed right now, but it's massive, and it's about to burst out of its seams, guys. So as a member of Visionary, you have the chance to be a part of a world-class, one-of-a-kind opportunity that will literally change the world in terms of how money is used. Never again will we experience a financial phenomenon like the one about to impact us all. Are you ready? So guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to come back over here, and it does look like we have some questions. Let's see here. Will we be getting a website where we can send folks who are interested in the merchant? So are you talking about like a merchant wants to learn about this, and you have like Capripay merchant.com / your username, and then they go there and they can learn about it? Is that what you're saying? Don't see a response from you yet. Oh, there we go. You are familiar that you've got capripay.com / your username, right? We'll have to talk about that after. I'm not quite sure what you're getting at here, so we'll talk about that after. Any other questions, guys? Doesn't look like it. All right. Well, thank you guys for attending here. This has been recorded, hopefully successfully, and I'll make sure that this gets loaded on YouTube and uploaded in Facebook and Skype chats as well. So we'll be back here Sunday, 5 p.m. Pacific. I believe that, actually, I don't know what time that is in Spain time. But yeah, come back here every Wednesday at 12 Pacific, every Sunday at 5 Pacific, and we do these webinars every week. So again, thank you guys for coming on here. Reach out to your sponsor if you have any questions, you want to learn how to get signed up, and if you guys ever need anything from me, your sponsor, their sponsor, their sponsor will know how to either get the answer, get a hold of me, or, we're always here to help you out. So appreciate you guys coming on here. Hang on tight. We are very close here to having one of the most exciting, revolutionary, most profitable opportunities that everybody can participate and benefit from. So very excited to see where we're going. I appreciate all you guys. Hope you have a great one here. I'll talk to you soon.